Good evening. Sorry for the delay. We were separated by this time period because we had a failure on our system, our XSplit system, as it was playing out. We are broadcasting on Periscope now, and you can catch our show with this live link if you have a tablet and want to watch us there. Hello, Patrick. You and your 12-year-old son are watching. Can you say hi? Hello. Adrian, welcome. I'm so glad you guys and ladies are having children. I think it's great. We need more children in this world. We really do. This theory that we should get rid of our population is ridiculous. The argument that we're the ones producing the greenhouse gas, I seriously doubt that's happening. What's really happening is they're artificially engineering our skies, our weather, and our future. And they don't want to tell us about it. They want to keep us in the dark. And that's the source of this conspiracy theory show, really, is them lying to us and us responding in real time. And recently we've seen a lot of false flags. I believe that the Manchester attack in England was designed to make us fearful of terror, creating more war. I also believe that the same is going all the way back to Sandy Hook. We're being pushed for gun control. A lot of people don't realize, but gun control precedes every major Holocaust in history. We don't want gun control. But in 2007, I believe, John Kerry signed the Small Arms Agreement with the UN. Now, Donald Trump has not necessarily reversed that. And his actions with the UN seem to be guarding their UN plan for New World Order takeover. He hasn't done anything to disable the UN's ability to take us over. And he hasn't stopped the UN resettlement program. And his stipulations that Muslims can't come into the country is violating our Constitution. Therefore, his travel ban is useless. It's completely without any merit. I would have stopped the refugees by now because I would have written oblique language that would not have been interpreted negatively as a violation of our freedom. People can come into our country naturally through our fast-track naturalization program, which happens in their country at our embassy, with an expanded opportunity like a large Walmart-sized facility with people coming in and taking classes and making the process of becoming a U.S. citizen careful and planned, and most of all, giving people appreciation for what this country's about without getting them in here illegally. All right, so being we do this show every day, I'm getting a better picture of Periscope. Thank you, Tiny Marsh. Cool. Well, I'm watching your chat over there on this screen. I've got a whole dedicated monitor just to the Periscope screen right now. No, this isn't like Bill Maher at all. In fact, I'm not a comedian, and I don't say the N-word. He just did. Yeah. Your quadratic spectral analytic sequencer? Yeah, it's definitely a problem. I've had problems with mine, too. Getting the patents are very difficult. Funny. I don't eat expired food. I eat food that's still good. So technically, I've never eaten expired food. It just, a lot of it came from 1998, actually. You see, back about 7, 8 years ago, they didn't even put stamps on cans saying it expired. We really are seeing a new innovation, and even the government's told us that we have to keep eating food that's expired. 30% of the food that's being dumped in the garbage is coming from people's cabinets saying, oh, this is past May 15th, we can't eat this. So even the government has plans to help people eat more out of the cupboard. My immigration plan is not a Walmart immigration plan, but it's an idea, a Walmart-sized facility where people could come into the embassy, which means we'll be doing everything we can to make sure that they have facilities. And people can take a number, they can go online, find out how they want to become a U.S. citizen, and they can even pre-qualify. We'll have a program where they can apply through an online screen and then submit their birth certificate through a scanner, and then they have to bring in their authentic birth certificate the day of taking the test to become a U.S. citizen. It will come with a cost of around $10,000. But fast-track naturalization will begin to phase out this illegal immigration. We also have a great plan with the invisible fence, which I talked about earlier in the show. Donald came up with an idea that didn't make sense, the wall, and he wanted Mexico to pay for it. He stole my idea, which was the fence, the 1,000-mile fence, But we've taken it a step further. We've actually encouraged the building of an invisible fence. And the invisible fence will be a guard against anybody coming in. Okay. Hi, Jeff. Rex is here. David, will you break from casting and actually get on the write-in list? You know, it's going to be on the write-in list in 50 states this year. We're going to have to do that. So it won't, but we have 3 years to do it. But the point of the matter is, it's going to be a major problem just to get on every single one. And it doesn't even matter at this point. We're just keeping the show going because people need a choice. And even if it's a write-in campaign during that time period, it's better than nothing. You see, our entire country has been dominated by these elitists who think they control our destiny. There won't be any collars. This invisible fence will be using microwave technology, which has already been developed by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Let me give you an example.
Beam is going. It's operated by a joystick. The operator looks into the console, sees exactly what that antenna is aimed at, moves the joystick left, antenna slews to the left, same way to the right. Then when there's an individual who's identified as a troublemaker, he has a cursor, he can put that cursor on that individual, pull the trigger that's on the joystick, and the energy is sent downrange at the speed of light.
The electromagnetic radiation released by the active denial system is similar to the microwaves in your microwave oven, in that it causes the water molecules in the target to become excited and heat up. But that's where the similarity ends. The ADS is designed to heat only the very surface of the skin. It does this by outputting only the carefully chosen radio wave frequency of 95 gigahertz. Even though it can easily penetrate clothing, the ADS generates a much shorter and safer wavelength of radio waves than those used in microwave ovens.
The active denial system millimeter wave directed energy beam reaches 1/64th of an inch into human skin. So that is the most outermost layer of the skin, roughly equivalent to about 3 sheets of notebook paper. It is essentially affecting the pain nerves in the outermost layer of the skin, heating them up and causing an immediate repel effect.
Even the
Okay, so it's going to provide a veritable smart. It'll be a heat thing, much like a hot lamp in a tanning salon, but more so. And that's the one deterrent that people just can't handle is the pain. So, hey, so the invisible fence is a doable thing, and that's something that I think, my ideas will be very helpful in the future. We've got other ideas like the National Composting Plan, where we can actually get food from our restaurant waste material and store waste material into the ground, along with opening up the legalization campaign of marijuana so that everybody can grow it for personal use, and if you sell it, you have to pay 10%. Yeah, you're an activated chatter. That's how you got in here, man. We are shutting down guest chat because it just temporarily was attacked. It wasn't just guest chat, it was the other chat, non-activated chat. But this is an interesting time we're living in because Donald Trump is completely insulated from the world around him. He's in a dream state where people congratulate him and tell him whatever he wants to hear. It's kind of amazing. And I've never seen such amateurish high school type cabinet meeting as Donald Trump had today. People said it was laughable. Hey, I've got a really interesting breakdancer that came into our show. This video link came into our show a couple days ago, and I didn't get a chance to show you this guy. He's amazing. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with that, but that was pretty interesting. I've never seen anybody do that in that way. Yeah, he must be double jointed or something. But yeah, it was quite interesting. We have a little dance thing we do after the 2 o'clock, or from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We do a little musical venue, bringing in dance and music. It's fun. A lot of people who are seriously insomniacs like to come in and just watch interesting, odd, abstract, off the wall stuff. It's kind of cool. Whew. So his attempt to become deliberately apprenticed president is kind of pathetic. That's my opinion. Meanwhile, we've got the possibility of a nuclear war happening anytime. With Syria, the exchange going on in Syria is so ill thought out and misplanned that Putin thinks he's finding ISIS, knowing full well that we are creating ISIS. We are creating ISIS just to create justification for war. So when I say we, as in the government of the United States, not me, I would never have created such an idea as the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. But hey, there's a reason why Israel has never been struck by ISIS, because ISIS is the construct of the Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. So it's unlikely they're going to ever be hit. So as we get lulled into sleep by these false flags, they're really just testing the waters. They're trying to test our ability to believe anything. Last thing they want me to do is legalize pot, because they make money on the heroin industry. Okay, we'll do this a different way. Hey there. Yeah, legal pot is what I'm shooting for 2021. It's ridiculous to think that it would not be legal. So that's going to be the goal, to get this conservative cabinet out, and no longer will the Democrats carry the torch, because they've already been bought off. They've been co-opted. People like John Kerry, who signed the Small Arms Weapons Treaty, he's not going to ever represent you or I. Yeah, you're going to have to leave, dude. Yeah, we don't want you here. But we do want guests to come in here. So he thinks he's got something going on. I'm just going to deal with it. Why are you being attacked? Because the show is always very cutting edge, and we have always been able to express views that are never ever allowed on the mainstream media, and they can't stop me. Yeah, you notice that? Rodney is too busy with something else he's got going on. He got the same software the other guy got, which is a spam software that, I was telling him the other day, you're kind of slow there, Rodney. You could do better than that. Now he gets this, he got the other one. It takes a while to catch him, but I'll work on it. Yeah, we're gonna play Can't Stop because we won't stop. Because I can, and I will. It's kind of amazing how tenacious these people are, but they got nothing on me. I've been doing this for 9 years. I'm the anti-troll person. I've been able to prevent trolls from attacking our show regularly. And that's one of the reasons why we don't allow you guys to be moderators, because these guys will virtually, you'll end up kicking good people out, because the guys are so fast on their end that they'll throw you off. Yeah.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop.
So what's big for in this coming election year? Please vote for David Sponheim. Oh no.
Well, unfortunately, I have to stop that because I'm overtaxing my system here. Hang on. It may be the just this image right here that's overtaxing it. Let's try it again.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're going.
Yeah, I just have too much going on. It turns out that I ran into this hang up before with Periscope. There's no way I can actually. Here, I'm coming back in. There's no way I can actually do the can't stop off of the hard drive, so I have to pull it up off of a link in order to do it. But that was cool. You got a little taste of it. Self-destruct in 10 seconds. I am not a robot. What you're watching is completely real and interactive. Some people believe that this is a CGI effect. I tend to believe it's just me. So, as you can see, the legal pot, national composting plan designed to bring soil back to health. We've got tremendous amounts of glyphosate in our soil now. It's bizarre, but they've put together a massive amount. 7.5 billion tons of glyphosate, which is the product in Roundup, which our government's never done anything to stop, is in our bodies. 93% of us are pissing Roundup. Sorry to say, but that's just a reality. I wish it wasn't so. But I see people buy this product all the time. They just don't know. They don't know how dangerous it is. They just don't get it. My father may very well have died because of Roundup. He was spraying Roundup the day I came in, and he had massive headaches, and for like 5 days he had headaches, and then he started developing back pain, and then we found out it was his prostate. And then he found out it was cancerous after he had done a TURP, a transurethral resection of the prostate. Once they operate on you, your chances of necrosis increases dramatically. Anyway, he fought that with radiation and ended up living another 12 years. But it had seeded to his bone in his back, the cancer had. And I can pretty much trace it to that day he sprayed Roundup in our front yard to get rid of the weeds that he were fighting, You're paid to troll? Is that a joke? Well, you can't come in and do that. Sorry. Yeah. So I don't know if any of you have had any problems with people in your family dying from cancer, but I'd be concerned, as many of us are, that this is related to the environment, and nobody's doing anything to stop that. So bringing soil health back into existence is part of the deal. But if we don't get that going and the legal pot going, our economy is going to stall. It's going to come to a grinding halt. Now, somebody said earlier that Trump has had increases in the stock market ever since he came in. This is a mad grab to the end. And they're using Trump to kind of like play the Trump card and see how far they can roll the dice. That's what Trump's all about. Eventually it'll come crashing in on him. But the reality is these people are not a lot of people making money in the stock market. It's down to a few now. There's only a few people that control the world's food supply. There's 5 corporations that control the world's food supply. That's seriously messed up. My dad never smoked marijuana. No, he tried it just a little bit. It didn't really make him feel good. I was hoping to help him with that, but it didn't really make him feel good. At that time, they didn't have cannabinoid oil, and that would have really helped his Parkinson's. No, people who have Parkinson's are getting a benefit from legal pot. And national composting is just a concept that we think would really be beneficial. You could get a bag of manure for 50 cents versus $2 or $3 right now. Building up gardens will be the primary goal of the national composting plan. And everybody will be having an opportunity to get these bags for 50 cents a piece. We're going to have a real big flow of regenerative dirt that's been improved. I call it the re-agrification of America, where we can actually get back to our roots of being the breadbasket of the world. Now, Trump has already refused to discuss the GMO issue, and he won't even commit on the vaccine issue. Really, it's kind of sad because we need to stop this ridiculous attack on our country by the CDC and the vaccine companies. Big Pharma and the CDC are in bed together. That's one thing that should have happened by now, and he hasn't done enough. We haven't seen any real traction when it comes to stopping illegal aliens who are coming to our border too, because of his ridiculous ban on the border. The travel ban is ridiculous. It's got Muslims attached to it. You can't have a travel ban focusing on Muslims. It's unconstitutional, and everybody in Trump's dimwit cabinet doesn't know that. My big idea is not manure. It's actually improving the soil health of our country. Right now, we're seeing dust bowls form in the middle of the U.S. that'll be reactivated like the 30s, and we will see a dust bowl just like we saw in the 30s. We're already seeing genetically modified food fail in the stress test against bad weeds. There's 9 weeds now that are genetically superior to GMO food. So there's no point in having GMO food and glyphosate in our diet when we've got 9 disease-ridden, pesticide-resistant weeds that are predatory. So, I mean, spraying crops is not working. We got to stop this. The Supreme Court will not uphold the ban because the Supreme Court knows that it's a violation of the right to freely speak out and have freedom of religion, one of the core elements of our country. Yeah, I'm going to have everything that anytime you cap lock, I'm going to ban you at this point. Yeah, anybody in cap lock, I'm going to ban. Because it takes up too much space, for one, and two, if I get hit with a spammer and I get another spam attack by some freak, he has to make new accounts every time he does this. And I haven't unbanned all ever since the slander started from this stalker we've got over in England. It's unbelievable. I want to unban all, but I can't now because we got so many people now that are stalking us. I've got 2 suicidal people that are stalking us, which I keep telling people you need to get help. Really, get professional help. It's much better. Anyway, we do a little tweeting during the day. I got a couple tweets at Third Party if you want to check them out. I'm going to try to tweet more often. We've got the story of this ridiculous gathering that happened at the White House. He calls it a cabinet meeting, but it was more like a yes man meeting. The cabinet members are the sick people. Oh, you're talking about the people that come in here who are sick? They just don't want me to beat anything Trump's doing right now. It's not 95% troll. No, I want more activity. I want more chat. So that's why I keep guest chat in. And I understand a lot of you are very upset because you want to chat more without the guest chatters. But for me, it's important to have guest chat to give people an opportunity because everybody's being censored right now. They have to have a little hope they can get in here. But the people that are attacking us are coming out of the US VPN servers. The ones that want to get in here are not allowed in. Yeah, I heard Cornell and Paul McCartney admit in interviews their replacements. I was like blown away. I'll be playing that tonight at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock, 2 hours from now. Madison Star Moon, Chemtrail Spray Day. Oh, that's something else. Yeah, here it is.
Probably my first and foremost musical influence was the Beatles.
I'm actually not Chris Cornell. I'm an actor. He died years ago, and his management just decided, well, you know, they looked at what happened when Paul McCartney died and how they pulled that off so well. And I was hired. I'm taller than the original guy by 3 inches, but nobody ever really seemed to notice that.
No, never.
Well, was he telling the truth or kidding? I mean, people don't know. He admits to the replacement. Yeah, it's a really good film. I'll definitely give you the link right now if you want to watch it, but we'll be playing it later for tonight. Whew. Yeah, it's amazing that we are being deceived. The Tavistock Institute was the core of the Beatles' rise to power, and they developed this amazing technology of controlling the mind of human beings back during the 1930s. They developed it, and then the psychologists that were working for Adolf Hitler I told you I don't want any more of that, but thank you. I'm not censoring anybody, but if you're paid to troll, I can't have you in here. Anyway, we go to the Tavistock Institute file, and we know that this company has been involved since 1946. After the war, they formed, and they were working directly with our government as a shadow government through Operation Paperclip. They came in, Operation Paperclip, which is a known operation our government was involved, imported not only nuclear scientists and biotechnologists, but also social engineers. And their ability to control our minds was well noted. So a lot of you have already been living in a world that's been designed for you, and you're trying to break out of that mold. But Tavistock has been around and has done an amazing job of brainwashing our population. They were the ones that created the 60s and turned it into a drug epidemic, and ended up, many people look back at the 60s and say, yeah, there's a drug addict period, not the peace movement.
One of the things you talked to me about the other day was the Beatles. Well, the Beatles were the creation of the Tavistock Institute. And you know, you have to go back to the college days on the writings of Aristotle. And I made a note this morning before I came on this program of what he said about music and its influence on politics. He said, emotions of any kind are produced by melody and rhythm. Therefore, by music, a man becomes accustomed to feeling the right emotions. Music has the power to form character, and the various kinds of music based on the various modes may be distinguished by their effect on character. One example, working in the direction of melancholy, another in the direction of femininity, one encouragement, abandonment, another self-control, another enthusiasm.
You see what he said in a short period of time? He's basically, we're getting jerked around. And then I found out recently that Supertramp, the group that I grew up with, you know, the wonderful Crime of the Century, amazing song. Supertramp is run by the Tavistock Institute as well, along with the Moody Blues. And all these amazing orchestral groups that were formed in the 1970s were part of the Tavistock's brain control method. So it's not surprising to me that Soundgarden would be part of that. We know that Kurt Cobain died, was taken out of the picture. I think he was killed. I think there's very suspicious activities around Kurt Cobain's death. Even the police chief from Seattle from that time period has said they need to open up the case. It wasn't properly investigated. So people, yeah, there's a big solid belief that a lot of these engineered groups were using the writing and designs developed for them. They merely implemented the plan. Seriously messed up. And I loved Supertramp, one of my favorite groups of the 70s. And I was just listening to the music the other day, and I'm going to take an entire show and rip into it and look at the lyrics. But you'll see all of this playing with your mind, worrying about your insecurities, and then making you feel sympathetic, and then turning you into a person who doesn't believe in anything. And pretty soon you're an apathetic zombie at the end of the song. You're like, you don't want to do anything. Or like the song Let It Be. The final words, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. Crystal words of wisdom, let it be. As in, don't do a damn thing, don't fight it, just submit to the Borg. No, I can't annul anybody from the internet, I'm sorry. And yeah, Katy Perry's live scripted fake stream. Her newest one, Katy Perry's newest one, which is shocking, called Bon Appetit. I always like to talk about Katy Perry on Conspiracy Money because this Bon Appetit song is just phenomenally weird, and it virtually has her, let me mute this, I'll just play it in the background. It has her being eaten like she was being prepared in flour. It's very weird. Resistance is futile. It was mean to Delish? No. I don't even know who Delish is. Okay, well anyway, you're seeing Katy Perry getting floured and then massaged and then eaten. So yeah, she has like a nude bathing suit on, but she's not nude. Anyway, Bon Appetit happens to be kind of very bizarrely similar to The spirit cooking that you're hearing about among elitists like Abramovich, this woman that engages in what is called spirit cooking. Very strange. So maybe the national composting plan in the future without a third party will be you. You'll be composted. I played a video in the earlier show, in the first part, about a man who spoke out claiming that children are being abducted and tortured for their blood. I mean, some weird stuff out there, and you're wondering why 50,000 kids in America are missing every year and why the government's not doing anything to stop it. You begin to wonder if our government isn't complicit, and the sheriff organizations are complicit in covering this up. Very suspicious stuff. And it's all related to Pizzagate. Yeah, Charles. So we have a place to come here and talk, and you don't have that anywhere else in the world. That's why they want to stop us. It's more about you than it is me at this point, because I keep the ball rolling on this show because I don't want you to lose your venue to talk politics. And I realize how important it is. My humor is not very similar to Gary. No, not at all. You might think it is, but it's not. No, I don't. I mean, I can see his point. There's no doubt about it. But, you know, putting your tongue out in front of the American people is a kind of a wild thing to do. You know, I got to tell you, it's not unusual to see people like go back and go, whoa.
And not based on that, I think I could stand up there for a whole debate and not say.
So, I mean, when he did that, everyone was going, you know, why are you doing that? So. But, you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, step out of the box. Gary did that to get noticed. He wanted people to hear him, obviously. He felt that he had to do something because he wasn't getting the traction he needed. You will never assimilate me. I am 10 strokes ahead of you in every way. I have concocted a methodology that you are unable to stop. I care about your health. Yes, I do. I care about what you're drinking, the water you're drinking, the food you're eating. It really is important to me that I leave this nation a legacy of better quality food and water and a survivable solution, a sustainable plan. I've got a 50-year vision for this country. Beyond that, you're on your own. We're up against the wall with these elitists trying to control us right now. So I need your help to stop them. There's no other way to do this. We've got to build this third party in the next 3 years to stop them and take down the two-party system in and of itself, because it is completely corrupt. No, my facts are not based on YouTube. I have a broad spectrum of information that I gather from, obviously, doing deep research on everything. I spend a lot of time at night when I'm giving you guys the video show, I'm on the internet looking up stories and reading and validating and doing a lot of that. With this show, I have more knowledge than I ever would have had I never done the show. And it's really beneficial because we do get links. She mocked your chemtrail video? Well, is this going to end your relationship? Is it over? Jackson? I mean, are you ending it with this woman? She said, I'm nuts like Sponheim. I'm so sorry, man. Well, you know, just deal with it. I tell Sarah, you know, Sarah's just recently admitted that, yeah, they are going to be doing scientific studies with the atmosphere. And when you show them this, I know you love this person and you don't want to lose this person. It's over? Okay. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you over chemtrails. It's not the first time it's happened, but when you show people this video, which is perhaps the most revealing, John O'Brennan, the former director of the CIA, actually openly talked about, right before he left, he went to the Council on Foreign Relations meeting and openly discussed doing this to our planet as a way of fixing it. So that got Sarah's attention when he said that. And many people just now begin to think that, well, maybe they're going to test to keep the atmosphere better. But in reality, this has been a plan since JFK talked about it in 1961.
Mr. President, honored delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control. 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 In weather prediction.
Yeah, so anyway, he got into a weather prediction and weather control. So this was his plan. And when you heard his speech that we someday will go to the moon and do the other thing is weather management. So weather modifications going on, whether you like it or not, in our skies above us. We are being sprayed on like insects. People like One Pacific Redwood looks at this every day on his video.
Okay, today is October 31st, 2016, and we're watching the Northeast Pacific Water Vapor Loop. And this is going to be...
So Mueller is next. He's going to be fired. They're saying Mueller may be kicked out. Donald Trump tweeted to that effect, that he may just fire the special prosecutor. It wouldn't be the first time a president tried to do that. Nixon tried it, ironically, and failed. So Donald will be joining Nixon as the next fallen president who has to resign. It's pretty obvious he's headed in that direction. He didn't even know which country he bombed and sent 59 tomahawks to. This was something that it was shocking when people saw him say this on television.
What happens, as I said, we've just launched 59 missiles heading to Iraq.
Well, you headed to Syria.
Yes, heading toward Syria.
Yeah, so he doesn't even know where he sent the missiles. He's totally out of it. If he fires Mueller, he definitely will be impeached. Yeah, just like Nixon was moving in that direction. You left this evening and you saw chemtrails. Yeah, you're going to be seeing them in the sky quite a bit, folks. We're in a war that we don't even know we're fighting. We're fighting a war of awareness, trying to make people aware that this has been going on all over the place, all over the globe. We've already got a lot of people in Australia woke up to this. They see a lot of it over their shores. A lot of this is originating out in the ocean. They're using phased array radar to control it. But the constancy of this behavior of controlling the weather implies that they're trying to engineer global climate change. They're the ones behind this plan that's obviously happening, where their weather is changing on a daily basis. I mean, they'll stop at nothing. Look at these chemtrails. Look at how big these chemtrails are. They're just dumping this stuff in the sky. I'm going to do a quicker prayer for you, yes. A tremendous fence, but he doesn't have my invisible fence idea. I've already got that idea out there. He can't just steal it. If he tries to steal it, it's going to be a waste of his time. I'm praying for you right now. If you stop doing this, we won't have to mute you. Look at this massive chemtrail from Brian Pumper. Okay, Brian, you're pumping away here. So they are spraying us like insects, and we have to come to a common agreement as to how we're going to stop this. Our government's unaware or unwilling to be aware of the dangers. I'm looking at your chemtrail right now, man. Whoa. That is massive. Chemtrail Cowboy comes in here, yeah. He said he quit his regular gig, though. He now talks about it. Whoa. Yeah, people have a higher rate of asthma now, too. You know, 10 years ago, asthma was 1 in 84 kids got it. Now 1 in 30 kids, and maybe even 1 in more, get asthma. Seriously. Childhood asthma could kill your child. Yeah, you know it. That is one massive chemtrail. Thanks for sending that to me. Appreciate it. Yep, that pretty much tops them all. That's the high altitude ones. I bet those jets are auto navigation. There's no pilot on board, and they're running those things off of a computer system on a land system. Yep, and you've seen the weather modification technique patents. Yeah, so chemtrails can be real for sure, Patrick. Yeah, so a lot of people are just kind of overwhelmed by one of two things: the false flaggery that's been going on, and they all want to just attack Muslims now. You get a lot of alt-right people saying, "Oh yeah, we got to stop these Muslims." That's all basically divisionary. They're creating factions in America, trying to drive people away. We do have a problem with jihadists arming up, and Trump hasn't done a damn thing about those people. There's allegedly 24 encampments in the U.S. with Muslims who are trying to create weapons caches and munitions storage. We aren't getting any of that solved with Trump. He hasn't done anything to stop that. Instead, they're bothering people at the airport who have green cards. You're out of here, buddy. God, I'm an idiot. He actually came in here long enough to spread disinformation, so I banned him. The average age of my viewer is probably around 30, I would say. Because we got a lot of 55-year-olds in here. Like me, I'm 57. I don't like the band Froggy. He's been pretty decent. A lot of people who learn how to, avoid slandering me stay in the show. Okay, the latest Hawaiian official ruling shows the U.S. system works. What? Oh, Hawaii's travel ban blocked? Good. Yeah, all the travel bans are going to be blocked. I'm not a flat earther. Anybody who believes in the flat earth is an imbecile or on their way to being an imbecile. One of the programs they're developing is called Operation Shoot the Moon, and I guess I should put it on the screen so you won't forget it, because a lot of you are forgetting everything I'm saying. But Operation Shoot the Moon was developed by the CIA to test your stupidity and how effective the chemicals are on your head. Operation Shoot the Moon is designed to put out websites that talk about flat Earth, along with they also talk about chemtrails on those web pages. So whenever you think of chemtrails, you think, oh, you must be a flat earther. I can't take a joke, not in this environment, Zenetril. I'm sorry I muted you. You've been around a long time, but when you make statements like that, I'm going to mute you. Yeah, I'm sorry, it happens. At least you weren't banned. You have no idea what I have to fight through just to get the show to continue every night. It's amazing. But Operation Shoot the Moon is one of them. There's a lot of operations out there that seem to be, like I said earlier, Operation Paperclip, bringing Nazis into the country. That's a serious one to remember. Operation Mockingbird, we talked about that in the previous part. Many of these have gone stealth, and they're now run out of private operations like Blackwater, XE, now Academy. They've got a plan to actually train operations for terrorism and deal with terrorists here in the United States. So they needed to get terrorists, so they created the Gulen schools, a charter program, which now will be apparently Betsy DeVos is going to be giving the Gulen schools a lot of money to raise madrasas in America. So they need this homegrown terrorism to implement their plan of the New World Order to break our country up and destroy it. They want to have more homegrown terrorists in the United States to ultimately take us down. So they create these false flags too. And they try to see how far they can go with the false flaggery. This is a very, very advanced plan. I mean, brainwashing, Operation Shoot the Moon to make you wonder, they're testing the waters to see how stupid you are. Dumbing people down with fluoride in our water and lithium in our air. It's just amazing what they're doing. So, no, resistance is not futile. I wouldn't be here every day if it was futile. We have a large growing viewership, and it's not going away anytime soon. I don't need any mental health records because I don't have any mental health problems. I can validate every statement I'm making with proof. I got it. Zenetril, I got the joke now. I didn't mute you. Okay, thank you. You're carrying along the joke about resistance is futile. No, like I said, I never had any mental problems, so there's no need for a mental record. But I didn't get to all the other operations like Operation Cable Splice. There's all kinds of operations that the government's involved in.
Cable slice, huh?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
There's a lot of them. But these things are designed to skew the message, to implant controlled talking points for us to talk about. Even the discussion of Megyn Kelly and Alex Jones today all over the internet was planned. And it was designed to make you question nothing, to accept the traditional view that Sandy Hook is a very tragic thing that happened and people died. They're basically want everyone to know that these terrible terrorist things are happening and we have to constantly be aware of the dangers of having your own gun. So then they push gun control. Or then they talk about Kofifi, because Kofifi turned out to be a really viral subject recently. Yes, the end of humanity is planned. They wrote about it 10 years ago in a book. NASA developed this book. It's I'll give you an example right here. A couple people actually brought this out and showed it to people. They found a plan to destroy the entire human population in a NASA document. It's like, really? Okay. Just listen to a little of this.
This is Trevor Coppola for Anthony J. Hilder. I'm with Deborah Tavares, and we're going to discuss a few topics here.
Thank you so much for the interview. I appreciate the opportunity. One of the things that we want to talk about is what we were discussing a little bit ago, and that is the significance of this NASA war document that was found on the NASA website, and the need to urgently get this out in front of as many people as possible because of the content of this document.
So was this document available to everyone, or this was on their actual website and someone found it?
That is correct. It was on the NASA website, and it was a document that actually is a PowerPoint presentation by Dennis Bushnell, the chief NASA scientist at the Langley Center. And it was presented in 2001, July of 2001, just a few months before 9/11. And what brought my attention to it and immediately rang some uncomfortable realizations was when we first came across it. It says on the website, future strategic issues, future warfare circa 2025. And as I decided to just flip through it quickly to see what it was about, I was a little stunned on page 4. It said, the presentation is based in all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis technologies, no pixie dust. And the entire premise of the document, or the PowerPoint, is about robots, cyborgs, and humans. So I immediately saw a conflict between future and now. And I thought, what are they covering up? Because that was a definite cover-up. And then I started to continue looking through the document with shock. And that's why we're talking right now, because I think most people would be shocked to find on page 93.
So who wrote this NASA document, and was this intentional? Did they want the public to see this, do you think, or?
Well, again, the Illuminati, the most wealthy, rich men on the face of the planet, always telegraph everything that they're going to do.
Yeah, there you have it. So that woman, the future is now, a NASA document, now 16 years old, came out right before 9/11, but it outlined all the ways that they were going to get rid of the human race. Now, we've all been told in school that we got to get rid of 95% of the population. They're not going to wait around, folks. It's not like they're going to wait for you to not have kids. They're getting impatient. That's why we're seeing the chemtrails. That's why they're altering the weather. They want to justify this global climate change gig that they've got rolling so they can implement their plan. And they've got Agenda 2030 now. Now, Agenda 21 started out as a good plan, social engineering 2.0. the guy who created that book,
Social change.
Social Change 2.0. He came up with the idea, but the Illuminati loved it so much that they wanted to use it as their way of controlling carbon point legislation and manipulating the whole world. And in a way, I'm really glad that Trump did not sign the Paris Treaty, because I've been saying don't sign any of these cap and trade plans, and apparently he felt the same way, which is a good sign. It's the best sign I've seen that Trump has got something going on in a positive way. So Snopes has already been discredited. The three people that have an ownership of Snopes are involved in some sordid activities. You may want to research it. I think it's online. The future is now. It's a NASA document, and the only person refuting it, and somebody's wrote extensive notes on it, is the guy who wrote it. And he claimed that as a NASA official, his goal was to come up with hypothetical ways the human race can be extinguished. I'm just, yeah. Who would even study that? Unless you had a genocidal tendency and a goal to get rid of the human population. Well, the fact is, you all have an opportunity to have children right now, so go for it if you want that responsibility. Sarah and I are choosing not to have kids, and I'm really glad we've chosen that, because this responsibility of doing this is way too taxing and dangerous to children. If I were to take my time up with this every night, I wouldn't even be a good father. I wouldn't even feel like I was doing a good job raising a kid. So now, if your kid's in the background right now while you're chatting, and you're still a good father, you're not engaged in a one-on-one constant chat like I do every night. So his travel ban has been ruled out by the appellate court, just like we expected. So these people still believe that violating the U.S. Constitution and disallowing people to practice religion in this country is going to somehow fly. I don't know how they can even come to that conclusion. Your friend is a good father. He gets drunk every night.
Oh yeah, Jeff Sessions is going to be testifying on Tuesday, tomorrow.
Yeah, so Jeff Sessions may get caught again perjuring himself. He already perjured himself 3 times in front of the Senate subcommittee hearing that Al Franken ran. But Al Franken didn't do anything because they're friends.
Very cool, Pat.
They're friends.
So it's been 1 year, the Pulse shooting. The David thinks might not have happened.
Yeah. But we are seeing all of these retros and retrospectives of these events, these supposed terrorist attacks. It's just another way to promote propaganda about terrorism.
Dennis Rodman is on his way to North Korea. Was he sent by Trump?
Yeah, we were wondering about that, because Trump has to send him if he's an emissary going to a country that we're at war with. Now, if Trump did not send Dennis Rodman, then Dennis Rodman's just as guilty as Trump for violating the Logan Act. So here we're pursuing Trump for violating the Logan Act with Russia, and now Dennis Rodman just bolts off to North Korea. Well, Franken and Sessions are friends. They give each other treats to give to their grandkids. So that's a serious issue. Franken is no longer objective in that committee. He should be pulled off. Yeah, well, that's my point. Franken seems more like a Republican than any other Democrat I've ever seen. I'm against the Obama and Hillary Clinton crime cartel too, Zenatril. I've always said that we've got to prosecute Bill and Hillary on various issues, as well as Barack Obama. I don't want to drop that ball. I don't think we should sit back and watch these people get away with it. Trump, however, seems to be part of it. You got a disaster prediction from a Kickstarter? I don't really need to get involved in that. Thank you, though. I can predict disasters, too. All right, thank you for listening to me. I'll be back in a little while.
Okay. So some people are doing a tech sell-off, but oil is going up. So there's these protests happening in Russia because Navalny is trying to run against Putin. I believe it's Putin. I believe that's right. And yet all the people that are in favor of that guy are being arrested because they said it's basically this controlled election. Sean Spicer says Donald Trump is going to reveal if he taped James Comey when he's good and ready. Like, never. All right, and we'll see what happens in France with Macron. They talked about how he might try to. NPR today was talking about how he might try to do changes in with their employee benefits, and that in the past when that's happened, there's been massive protests in the streets. Okay. All right, Ab. Hopefully no one will do that. Aren't you? Did you? Wait, which house? Is that in Taiwan? Taipei? Both? Yeah. This is his stare. Bill Cosby. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Oh no, not gonna happen, Brown. Oh, yes, go ahead with the NBA 268. I used to watch basketball. I enjoyed it. Watching basketball. No, 230, not really. I kind of did feel like he was a little bit weird. Zenetrel, alright. Rule of Acquisition 108. A woman wearing clothes is like a man without profit. The Borg Queen. We are Borg. You will be assimilated. Resistance. That's hilarious. Cute. I like the Star Trek. Thank you, Xanatrell. That was funny. Alright. New clue. What was the legendary home of the Greek and Roman gods? Correct Rex, correct Hair Dog, correct 934, and correct Boston. It was Mount Olympus. It's an actual mountain in Greece, the highest in the country. Some stories of the gods have them living on the mountain. Other stories have them living in a mysterious region above it. The Olympians were the Greek gods. The Olympic Games were a celebration held every 4 years on the plain of Olympus in honor of Zeus. They included athletic games and contests of choral, poetry, and dance. Our modern Olympic Games are modeled after them. Choral, poetry, and dance. That's pretty cool. They should bring a chorus competition to the Olympic Games. Billings, Montana. Hello, peeps. Or verts. Virtual reality friends. Alright. Oh, goodness. David. Alright. Bombard, aka Rodney. Alright, moving on. That might be fun, 230. Or at least pseudo. In classical mythology, who was the son of Agamemnon and Clytemnestra and a brother of Electra? Agamemnon was killed by Clytemnestra and her lover, Aegisthus. To avenge the murder, this person and Electra killed them both. Who was Electra's brother? Not Apollo, maybe, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. Hercules. If someone tried to avenge a murder, they would arrest them. Not Zeus. And the answer is Orestes. It's spelled Orestes. Third shift is on Sarah. What? What does that mean? Oh, yes. Yeah, it's true. Well, I worked and then I had to clean a room and then I came on here. He brought Orestes, you think brought Oreos to mankind? That's pretty funny, 230. Maybe so. Alright, who was, in classical mythology, who was a great musician and his wife? The music was so beautiful, it could calm the wildest animal and even make stones rise up and follow. When his wife died, he went to the underworld, played his lyre for Hades, ruler of the dead, and asked that his wife be sent back to earth. The god was so moved that he agreed to let her return on one condition, that this guy go ahead of her and not look back until they had reached earth again. He led his wife up, but at the last moment, when he had come out of the underworld and she was about to leave it, he could resist no longer and turned to look at her. She vanished, and he had lost her forever. He spent the rest of his days wandering about, playing his lyre and singing. In the end, he was torn to pieces by crazed followers of Bacchus, the god of wine. Not Van Halen, not Herpes, not Thor, not Pan, not Medusa. Well, classroom. Clean the classroom. The answer is Orpheus. Like Morpheus, but without the N. Oh, no problem. Abnormal. I did not know about Orpheus. And his wife was Orpheus and Eurydice. Eurydice. I had no idea about that. Brian, you want to do sports? You want to do sports trivia? I would totally lose on that because I know nothing about sports. Not a thing. Never mind. Sarah, who just won the NBA Finals? I have no idea. None. Lakers? Clippers? Golden State. The Golden State Warriors? The Globetrotters? I know it's not the Globetrotters. I didn't know there was a Golden State Warriors. Yeah, that would be fun. A question on cats. Dennis Rodman? Kobe Bryant? They're in Oakland? The Golden State Warriors are in Oakland? Okay. Who knew? Not me. Yes, be like Wata, my friends. Reptoid. Larry Bird? I'm sure none of those people are play for the Golden State Warriors. Okay. He's trying to remain anonymous, Marky, except he likes his name Jeff. Yeah, I know. I don't watch sports anymore. I used to, but I don't either. All right, who was the Greek god of flocks, forests, meadows, and shepherds? He had the horns and feet of a goat. He frolicked about the landscape, playing delightful tunes. Well, what do you consider the real world? I think the real world is all... It depends. Correct. 177. It is Pan. Correct, Brian. Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship. That's fantastic. Yes. Pan's musical instrument was a set of reeds, the pipes of Pan. According to legend, Pan was the source of scary noises in the wilderness at night. Fright of these noises was called panic. That's where the word panic comes from. I know, you said Pan earlier, I think, Rex. Good job. Good job, 177. Nice. In classical mythology, what was the box that Zeus gave to the first woman with strict instructions that she not open it? Her curiosity soon got the better of her, and she opened it. All the evils and miseries of the world flew out to afflict mankind. But then it was followed by hope. Correct again, 177. You're on a roll. Correct, Brian. Correct, Matchbox. It is Pandora's box. To open a Pandora's box is to create an uncontrollable situation that will cause great grief. Yes, it's all Pandora's fault. She caused the chemtrails. Oh, sorry, 934. Let's go back up. Salty is sometimes what? Pan? 177 said pans, and you said pan. Okay. All right, you're probably right. Sorry I didn't get you right. Pan is bread in Spanish. Good job, Brian. True. All right, who was the Prince of Troy in classical mythology? I would try not to hurt him though, abnormal. I'm sure I could, but I would try not to. His abduction of the Greek Queen Helen caused the Trojan War. Who abducted Helen?
With it?
And Helen, they said she had the face that could launch 1,000 ships because they launched 1,000 ships to go rescue her when this guy
Hermeticles?
abducted her. Abducted Helen.
Armageddon, then.
Agamemnon? No.
No. We're making up words now.
No, we're not.
No, they are, not you. Gosh, no.
Correct, Brian. It is Paris.
Paris is correct. For the win, Brian, you win the brownie button.
Paris, whoever said Apollo was right too. Paris, or according to some stories, Apollo disguised as Paris, killed Achilles by piercing his heel with an arrow.
Thus, Achilles' heel.
Yes. Paris was a prince of Troy whose abduction of the Greek queen Helen caused the Trojan War.
It's terrible. And then you had those people that were using the Trojan horse. Yeah, that was a terrible time. We have kind of a Trojan horse cabinet with Donald Trump posing as caring about our government when in fact they're all trying to make money.
I think David is a mythological name in and of itself.
Yeah, so who's in the top final? There's a major NBA game going on here.
They said that they just won.
Who did? The Trailblazers?
No, the Golden State Warriors. Is that
Warriors
the team?
Wow. Is this the finals or the semifinals?
I think they just said who just won the NBA, Sarah.
Is this the NBA all time? Seriously? God, I used to be such an avid viewer of
we were pretty
NBA
big
basketball.
fans.
Wow, Golden State Warriors. It's over. Wow.
Brian said.
Well, they won back when Wilkins was center a long, long time ago before the Lakers won. They haven't won in a long time. I think it's been like 1971, wasn't it, that they won? Golden State Trailblazers? I mean, the Golden State Warriors? The Trailblazers won. Now I'm confused.
Let's see.
I haven't watched basketball in at least 5 years since we met. Sarah and I don't watch sports because... I mean, I should pick up sports really on a regular basis.
Warriors, Game 5 final. Warriors versus Cavaliers.
And the Warriors won.
Warriors won by 9 points.
Yeah, that's true.
Why don't they make like a big deal about that? Like they make a big, huge deal about the Super Bowl, and then it's like, it's not even in the main, in Google News.
I know.
Like,
nobody even
weird.
cares about the NBA
says
Finals. I mean,
are you going to watch the NBA Finals game?
I know.
It's so weird. Like, no one talks about That's so weird. Is it because they don't have a team up in Seattle? Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why. But, honestly, I think that the NBA basketball schedule has been kind of like not really heavily exploited. I think a lot of money can be made in basketball, even if we opened up a lower league. People that can't quite get to the pros. I think we should have more lower cost viewership opportunities for people at stadiums too. I'll be talking to various groups to get stadiums to open up their off time to gatherings of people at $10 a ticket or something. With like in baseball, you get the second string, you've got amateur leagues.
Yeah,
basketball doesn't have that.
Minor league.
Yeah, the minor leagues. Basketball doesn't have that.
Basketball doesn't have a minor league. That's true.
Right, and they could. It would be really good entertainment.
Have the women.
That's true. Have you seen the new women football players that are like running around in their skimpy bathing suits? It's so funny.
Oh, really?
There's like a women's football league now where it's like an indoor football league where they all dress really skimpily. Burqas are not allowed on the field.
NBA had a minor league in the 80s. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but I think it would be a great source of talent.
More popular back then.
I think people with talent could do that.
Brian says there is a minor league. It's called the D League.
Okay, you're missing your stories. Okay. Well, I think the D League sounds like Dunce League. I mean, it should be the B League. That would be a better word, Brian.
The basketball league, yeah.
The basketball league.
But it is kind of interesting, yeah. And why wrap it up right before summer? I mean, wouldn't it be kind of cool? Hey, what are you doing this summer? I'm going to go see a basketball game.
Yeah.
You can't go see a basketball game because the season's over.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Anyway.
We're missing marketing bonanzas for a lot of different venues. Now, many people would go to a game if it was $10, not $45 to get in.
And if it was during the summer.
Yeah.
Because anyway. And then baseball season's so long. I do not like watching baseball. I don't mind. I played like softball, and that was okay. I didn't really like it, but
It was a slow game. It's relaxing though. If you're an old guy about 75 with Parkinson's and you're shaking, it's probably a good thing to be watching. It calms you down.
Bonnie, hello, Bonnie.
There's a surfing thing going on right now, World Surfing Championship in Fiji.
MJ ask, are these two look like the same guy to you? Let's see, this one versus this one. Oh.
They do. Yeah, they look like the same guy. Are they?
Yeah, they look like the same guy to me.
We better get rid of those. Let's take up our cash. I broke down twice already. Facebook we can't do. The system shuts down, and XSplit has a problem with drawing memory out of our computer. Once it gets kind of funky, you have to restart XSplit. So there's a lot of issues.
Okay.
That's why I got the other computer going, because I actually think we could actually do a show from inside there sometime. Periscope, we've got people who just don't go into it. So yeah, I think we will have to close Periscope tonight. I don't know why people can't get in there, but...
So, no. Never mind. That's pretty cool, Monkey Times.
You were getting into watching professional pool at one time, weren't you? And maybe poker? Poker's pretty common on cable.
I never watched them, no.
No.
Maybe poker. I think I watched one game of poker. One game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Ron's watching us on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. Thanks, Ron.
Age is just a number. I know in 1 year I will be 40.
Right. Okay, we got a caller from Jason. Jason, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good.
Pretty well.
What you want to talk about?
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Bye, Jason.
I just wanted to say to Sarah, you look really nice this evening.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're very beautiful. Your smile is just so radiant. You're so pretty.
Thank you.
And David is gorgeous.
No. I want you to definitely compliment Sarah.
David is so handsome.
You're taking over Rodney's position. He contacts Sarah all the time.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah, you're just so pretty.
Thank you so much.
I'm so tired.
Okay,
thanks,
Jason.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Jason called to say how pretty she is, and she's tired. There is an artichoke that's on the table if you want it, and there's an avocado, half an avocado if you on the crisper if you want it. Help yourself to the rest of the artichoke too. It's very tender. I cooked it. It takes about an hour to cook in a pressure cooker. Nobody trolls me, man. I'm troll proof. Nobody's been trolling our show. We've got tremendous viewership around the world, and this network of Advon censors us heavily, but no one trolls us anymore. They can't. I can beat any troll at any time on any issue. Sometimes the stalkers come in and start cutting and pasting. No, it's not a burnt avocado. It's a half of an avocado and a half of an artichoke. Half an avocado and half an artichoke. Yeah, I wish he did have guests, because everybody knows guests is how you build your network. Yeah, he did. Jason was very respectful and didn't say anything nasty, so that's good. I didn't know that was happening. Yeah. All I can tell you is that we never solicit people for donations, even though you can donate at America's Third Party if you're a U.S. citizen. Well, it's just like your calls, Rodney. Every single call from Jason was just, he's starting to take over your role. It's like, hey, Dave, how are you? How's the lovely Sarah? And that was one of your many common calls that we had to shut off. And then, hey, when's the show start? And that's another one we had to shut off. We had to stop the endless trolling by Rodney. Now, I'm very upset that Jackson has broken up with someone because he believes these chemtrails are pretty bad, and his girlfriend made fun of him. That's serious. I think baking an avocado would be a terrible waste of an avocado. We're not doing the Jeff Sessions. No, we've already heard Jeff Sessions perjure himself 3 times. So there's no way that anything coming out of his mouth is other than garbage. The man doesn't support legalization of marijuana, which everyone knows is very, very helpful for people who are suffering from rotted vocal cords like Alex Jones. Yeah, people who are suffering from rotting vocal cords could draw from marijuana help. Yeah, there's no reason to even go on a show with Jeff Sessions. He's the most countrified hick we've ever had as Attorney General. It's unbelievable. It's an embarrassment. The entire cabinet is an embarrassment to our country. These people make high school theater look very, very intense and realistic. The fake kiss ass routine they pulled today, the round table of everybody kissing his ass, was absolutely pathetic. Thanks for sharing about your feet. It's always nice to hear people talk about their smelly feet. You're out of here, buddy. Any more mention of your smelly feet, go in the bathroom and rinse off your toes with soap. Get the hell out of here. Well, let's be clear. Michelle has some pretty big feet. Let's go to the Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones interview that drew so much attention today, internationally. That's if it pops up. You feel countrified?
Because authoritarianism knows humanity's awakening, and it's moving against humanity on a planetary scale. The great global battle for the future of our species is being fought right now.
They call you the most paranoid man in America. Is that true?
Absolutely not. A paranoid person will be hiding out in their house, not venturing out in public. I go out there on the street and battle Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, but he's not talking about how he goes out there with a security team of about 20 guys, all with heavy-duty armaments. He doesn't mention that.
The communists, point-blank range.
We talked controversies and conspiracies. 9/11.
Now, 9/11 was an inside job, but when I say inside job, it means criminal elements in our government working with Saudi Arabia and others wanted to frame Iraq for it. Just a fact.
Sandy Hook.
Well, Sandy Hook's complex because I've had debates where we've devil's advocates said the whole story's true, and then I've had debates where I've said that none of it's true.
When you say parents faked their children's death, people get very angry.
Yeah, well, I know, but they don't get angry about the 500,000 dead Iraqis from the sanctions, or they don't get angry about all the illegals.
That's a dodge.
No.
All right, what he's trying to say, he actually dodged the point, which is a tactic he uses. Instead of addressing the issue, he should have gone right into it and said there is no actual proof of anyone dying at the Sandy Hook event. Plus, there's a solid evidence from the state of Connecticut's actual report that they delivered showing full well that the school had been shut down for a year and a half due to asbestos poisoning and had been used as a staging area for a crisis event. He didn't talk about all that. He just completely diverted and went to, and then of course Megyn Kelly said, that's a dodge.
No, it's not a dodge. The media never covers all the evil wars it's promoted, all the big things.
That doesn't excuse what you did and said about Newtown. You know it.
Here's the difference. I looked at all the angles of Newtown, and I made my statements long before the media even picked up on it. We didn't get any of the really important stuff.
What do you mean? We talked about all the important stuff.
Now, Megyn Kelly's like, I talk about all the important stuff. She might as well just say, well, I even interviewed James Alefantis and talked about the little girl that was strapped down on the table with masking tape, and it was his goddaughter, and it was okay. That's when I lost in any respect for Megyn Kelly, when she stood there in front of James Alefantis and said it was perfectly fine for a little girl to be strapped down to a... But this is what Alex Jones does. This is the twist. Watch this.
Here's the big one they always make fun of me. You probably want to throw this in there. 30 years ago, they began creating animal-human hybrids. Isn't that the big story Megyn Kelly should be doing?
So he completely discredited everything he said about 9/11 being an inside job, Sandy Hook being fake, when he starts talking about humans being crossbred with animals. Now, I don't know about you, but have you seen any really pretty donkeys walking around? I mean, with a nice ass? Maybe even a jackass. Have you seen one of those? No. The fact of the matter is, I can play Alex Jones better than Alex Jones. And there's absolutely no reason why he should even be the performance actor playing Alex Jones. So I'm beginning to wonder why we have to watch this person when you want to watch the real Alex Jones played by David Sponheim. That's what I want to know. Right, now I'm not Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks is the current Alex Jones.
Agent man, secret agent man. They giving you a number and taking double O dumbass.
And I believe that that there's this agenda in mainstream media, and I think it's fairly easy to back this up, to keep people stupid, docile, and apathetic, and therefore the elite who own these corporations and the families that own the corporations, even fewer people, their agenda is to keep us stupid and apathetic. That's why I love public access, and again, thanks for having me on.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.
Or I could admire someone who's a better comic than I am.
Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. Has to be real.
We have a much clearer image of it.
All right, now you're looking at the current picture of Bill Hicks and the only picture we have of the real Alex Jones. As you can see, that Bill Hicks does not look like Alex Jones. He looks like Bill Hicks. And the person that's the performance actor who currently is playing Alex Jones is Bill Hicks. Now, if you want to know who the real Alex Jones is, you'd have to ask yourself, what the hell happened to that guy? Where is he? If you knew who was that person, you'd want to know who the real Alex Jones was if you really wanted to track this conspiracy theory, because this guy was probably killed. No, I did not get an invite from Megyn Kelly. I can't keep doing the voice? Okay, I'll talk like this. But the fact of the matter is, this guy looks truly different than this guy who's playing Alex Jones right now. So where is this guy? That's my question. You can tell I was a top hand model in the 1970s. I guess you figured me out. But I'd like to know who looks like this guy. You know, that's my biggest question. Because I don't know anybody who looks like him. Okay, back to you in the studio. Take care. Bye-bye. Hand Model Inc. Yeah. So I try to rest my voice. Thank you for telling me not to use that voice, because it's pretty bad on your vocal cords. I mean, how the hell did that happen? Yeah. Nobody wants me to do the Alex Jones voice. No one pressed one, so I'm not going to do it anymore. So, tonight, at least. Ronnie Brown, checking out at 8:57. Thanks, man. I can't do Megyn Kelly's voice. Many of the transsexuals who've had the ejections can do that voice, but I'm not a transsexual, so I can't do Megyn. Thank you very much. No, I can't do those voices at all. No, but I can tell you about Smart Fresh.
From the supermarket has been treated with a product called Smart Fresh. Now, before I get it, most consumers are unaware that the fruit they eat from the supermarket has been treated with a product called Smart Fresh. Now, before I get into what Smart Fresh is, I want you to see it in action. First, they place the fruit in a hermetically sealed chamber. Then they drop the Zyklon B, Smart Fresh, into some water to form a gas, and then they lock up the gas chamber nice and tight. They leave the fruit there for about 24 hours so that it can soak up all the gas, and voila, your fruit has been contaminated. Smart Fresh.
Hey, well, this is a thing that was actually banned on the internet. Ron Johnson did this, and he couldn't get it to stay. They kicked it off. They don't want you to know that they're gassing the fruit so that they stays fresh on the shelf for days, weeks on end. Yeah. That's why when you eat them, they taste like cardboard. I don't have knuckle hair. All right. Will you legalize driving naked in public when you're president? No. No, there's no chance that you're going to be able to violate the standards of obscenity. You won't be able to perform any kind of a sex act in public when I become president. You know, there are places you can go, like the Green Door in Vegas. Somebody went in there, they told me they went to the Green Door and they said, you know, where's the entertainment? And they said, well, you are the entertainment. I've never been to the Green Door, though, so maybe you might just do it. And I want to lose your vote specifically because you're brain dead. I leave my house all the time. I make conjugal visits to various places around the area. No, I'm not saying kissing. I'm talking about obscenity. You're not allowed to have open sex acts anywhere in the country. You know that. No, we will not legalize glory holes. There's a strong anti-glory hole contingency forming in government. Hello. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming in. The Green Door is small, and in the ghetto of Vegas, it's by the Red Rooster. I don't know. I've never been there, but somebody said he went in there and he's like, where's the entertainment? And that you are the entertainment. Can you imagine? I mean, I can't. I'm taking callers right now. Operators are standing by. Blowholes are not acceptable here. No. We are not allowing any glory holes in our country when I'm president.
America's Third Party has been running campaigns since 2008 for the presidency, and we've taken on some amazing challenges. We've even had to craft TV spots just to deal with these challenges, like this one.
Okay, getting back to the operations, Operation Mockingbird, Operation Paperclip, Operation Shoot the Moon. We've got Operation Cable Splice, Operation Artichoke. The numbers go on.